Welcome everyone to the very first episode of Dutchman's. On this channel you're going to see gardening related topics, mostly specifically about fruit trees and fruit and shrubs, and also some houseplants as well. And I'm going to also break up this first video into two parts. This first part is going to be all my outdoor trees, and then the second part will be about the houseplants. So I know it's going to be a long one, so let's just dive right into it. So right now we're on the south side of the house, and this is where I grow most of my trees, just because it gets the most light here. And this one right here is a red-skinned and red-fleshed apple, which is very neat. The variety is called Calypso. And right now I actually have it kind of pulled up a little bit because it was leaning over too much. This branch down here was actually horizontal. I just wanted it to be a little bit more upright. They're in their first growing season, and they got pretty darn tall. This one is more wide than it is tall. You'll see in the other varieties how tall they got. One other thing that I really like to do as well is mulching pretty heavily. And I also like to cover crop with something, which in most cases I will just use strawberries because you get a nice crop out of it. I got 3 different strawberries in here. This one right here is an all-star, and I got these 2 that are pine berries, and a quinault, which is this one here. Right here we have another red-fleshed apple, which is a Odisso. Got pretty tall, about 7 foot, about 2.1 meters. Pretty tall. They have pretty lovely red bark on them, and the new leaves, especially in springtime, come out red as well. Beautiful pink blooms, deep pink blooms, which this one actually bloomed this year, which is its first year, like I said. So it's pretty awesome. If I can get another one of fruit, I'll probably allow some apples to just form on it, just because I'm really curious to try it out. We also got more strawberries down here. Same principle, 2 pine berries, all-star, and a quinault. So right now I'm just propagating a quinault in here, which will fill that gap out pretty well. Okay. Going to the next one, the last one. I got 3 different varieties of red-fleshed apples. It's this one right here, which is it's called Era. Look at how tall. It's awesome. I'll definitely be making a video about pruning these, just because, you know, I'll talk about what specific style I want to prune them in when we get there. It'll have to come down a little bit at that top. It's a little bit too tall. Okay, and then right down here, got the same principle. These ones took a little longer to take hold, but especially once the rains start coming in, it's gonna fill out really quick. And then here we got a hardy fig, Chicago hardy fig to be specific. It's just a monster. Used to just be a little stick, a couple inches. It just exploded. It's doing so well. You can tell that it's kind of leaning out away from the Japanese maple that's right here, which I'll make a video about pruning as well. So once these runners from this all-star strawberry, which spread a little bit, once I can cut those off, like especially when the rains start, I will move the pots over, probably right there. Help stake up those gladiolas over there, help them out. Yeah, and also get a little bit more light that way. Right here we got another pot of strawberries, which was supposed to also be a pomegranate. Let's see if we can get in there. It's basically just a stick. It only grew 1 set of leaves, and it just didn't do a whole lot. So yeah, unfortunately it didn't work out, but that's all right. Let's grow something else in it. This is my lemon tree that I grew from a seed. It's in its 4th growing season right now. I was actually hoping that it would produce flowers this year, but it hasn't yet. But it's just beautiful. It's doing so well. Maybe next year we'll get some flowers off it. Start producing fruit. Can't wait to try it out. It's gonna be awesome. We got a container here full of prickly pear cactus. I took one fruit and I grew all the seeds out. And I didn't realize that every single one of them would sprout. So I basically have, I had a lot more in here, probably about 100 seeds in here. It was pretty crazy. Took some out, gave some away, clipped some out because they were just weak, and you know, I'm just trying to leave the best ones. Looks like it needs some water too, but I'll do that. Then right here, we got a goji berry that I grew from a seed as well. It was sticking out of somebody's yard, and I was just walking, picked up a couple fruit, tried it out, and grew the seeds, which this is what it produced. And the slugs absolutely love this thing. Like, they're just constantly eating it up. Pretty annoying. But what can you do? Right, I actually made a trellis for it. See it in the back there. Just simple trellis made out of little bamboo sticks. Actually holding it up because it tends to be pretty trailing. Doesn't stand up too well on its own. So it helps it out. Right here we got a kumquat grown from a seed amongst all the other ones, which we'll talk about next. So this right here is a kumquat grown really well. Had a lot of side branches, pruned some of that off. Again, slugs love this thing. Slugs is the way of life here, pretty much. But it's growing really well. Lots of new growth all over it. It's very nice. We got a Meyer lemon seedling, which what you'll see in a second is that I actually have an actual Meyer lemon that I bought from a nursery. So I don't know if I'm going to keep it. We'll see. It's coming back, because again I got eaten by slugs. So it's doing okay right now. So yeah, we'll just see. All right, here we have a blood orange, which if you don't know what that is, it's amazing, but it's a seedling. So I probably will end up getting an actual tree from that, just because I would love to have blood oranges. Although I more than likely go for a blood mandarin, just because that's quicker to ripen. Now right here we got a mandarin, also grown really well. You can see the slugs damage on the back there. But yeah, really easy to grow, a lot of fun. I just gotta do it for fun, really. I'm not expecting anything amazing out of it. Right here we got a couple prickly pear cacti that I decided to pot up. Doing pretty well, and you can see all the slug damage on it. In the winter time when these slugs come out, they just love to eat those things. Alright, so we're going to the other side. Sticking with citrus for right now, we got a lime right here. We just got that this spring, so it's still pretty small, but it's rooting in well. It took really well. I had to prune it pretty well because it was a jumbled mess, but that's usually what you get when you buy it from the store. This right here is an improved Meyer lemon, which is amazing because it has flowers all over it. What? It's just this first year. I know I'll have to focus. Probably thin some of that fruit out, but let some of them ripen. Kind of check it out. The biggest cluster is by far up here, though. Look at that flower. It's awesome. Just came out today. Pretty amazing. Very excited to try that fruit. Back there, let me zoom out a little bit. We got beautiful jalapenos. Look at how big those things are. Covered in flowers, lots of fruit. It's amazing. So what I do actually with these jalapenos is I overwinter them. And then grow them over the winter to put them back out. Look at those trunks. I lovingly refer to them as my jalapeno trees because they have like a tree-like trunk on them. Love it. So I'll make a video about that too, how I overwinter everything, and you know, it's just a better way to go because they keep on growing and producing. There's really no reason to treat them as annuals. It's better to just treat them as a perennial. And here we got a purple bell pepper, which has a purple bell pepper on it. It's awesome. We've got a serrano right here, which has a tomato fruit on it. Where was it? Oh, it's in the back here. Serrano. It's nice. I grow them in these little containers because I intend on growing them over winter, and you know, only have so much space. Then we have a Sandia chili, which has a nice chili right here. I also want to mention that these things got started pretty late because it stayed too cool for them for the majority of the spring, so they only started to really get going out over in summer. We're getting some warm weather here. And we got cayenne chili right here. Putting it in the back because it was getting scorched by the sun. Give it some more protection. And then here, this is kind of my trouble area. They're doing fine, but some of these got eaten by slugs, like this one over here, and they got scorched by the sun, so I'm giving them a little more shade. This right here is a blood mandarin. Oh, and this one was a grapefruit. I've got that guy there. Let's see what it is. It's an orange. Alright, going to the front here, we got a couple of roses. I'm not sure exactly what the varieties of them are. I would have to look that up, but once I prune them and everything, I'll tell you what the varieties are. Beautiful. Especially this one. This one comes out, here, let me show you. Comes out orange. It was actually more orange when it first came out. But they come out orange and then they turn into yellow. They get the pink edges there, and they just turn bright pink when they are starting to go off. It's pretty awesome. And then here we got my wife's favorite, one of them. It's about to go off, but still nice. Pink edges, white center. Ooh, petals are falling off already. Then back here we got an Italian stone pine, which we're actually wanting to turn into a Christmas tree at some point, to be cool. We got a yucca back there, which my cat decided to eat it, so she got yucca poisoning off of it. That's why it's been put outside, and they actually overwinter here just fine, so it's not a big deal. We got a Mexican fan palm right there, growing pretty well. Then we got a speedwell, a Veronica speedwell right there, which it's always good to have more flowering things for pollinators and everything. So I'll definitely be focusing on that more next year. Always got to support the pollinators. Got a couple hens and chicks for a planter that we're going to be making, but they're just hanging out outside right now. Alright, and I think that does it for the front. So let's go on back to the backyard now. Alright, so we're going to head on into the backyard now. I actually seen a bunch of hummingbirds up there. They love that bamboo. Here, let me see if I can zoom in on it. There he is. Hello, little hummer. There's a bunch of them back here. Between my neighbor and I, we just grow so many flowers that, you know, they just love hanging out. Yeah. It's awesome. Yeah, pretty neat. So right now, it's morning time, so this actually gets all the morning sun. The back will get some late afternoon sun. Alright, so here is the Yosterberry. We got this about a year and a half ago. So it's in its second growing season technically, but the first year that we had it, it was really only half a year because we got it in the late summer. But it's pretty awesome. It got huge. If you look at this branch right here, this is all, let's see what the base of it is. That's all 1 year's growth. It's just super tall. I'll definitely have to do some pruning on it. Just kind of balance out the weight of it, because it's actually being supported by 2 trellises right now, which is not ideal. I'd rather it not be able to, or not need that support. So I'll do a little bit of pruning on it. Make a video about that. And right here we got a random tomato because I just got so many. Figured might as well pop them everywhere. It's probably not going to produce anything because it's too late in the season, really. Right here we got more strawberries at the base of it, but this is a red currant. The variety is called Red Lake. Did really well. It was just a little itty bitty stick when I got it. So yeah, it grew well. Got a little bit of a couple small berries on it, but next year we'll probably get even more. Very nice. All right, so here is a pink lemonade blueberry. It's a pink blueberry. It does need a little bit of pruning, as you can tell. It's gotten pretty wide, pretty tall too, which is good. But it has a lot of growth on the bottom there, where that strawberry's at. Quinault. I want to keep a little bit more separation, and anything down low I just want to remove on that blueberry and encourage it to go up rather than have all that stuff down there. So I'll be doing that in winter time. Okay, then we got a blackberry right there. Variety is a black satin. Really big blackberries, very tasty, very sweet. Still got lots ripening on, even though it's kind of later on in the season for the blackberry. But you can still see lots on there. They're very nice. Okay, then we got a raspberry. Really, let them get pretty tall. This variety is called Heritage. Very sweet, very nice fruit. Produces pretty abundantly too. I've got a lot of extra little suckers coming off. I'll probably be separating some out once winter comes along. And then right here, I got a yellow raspberry. This variety is called Fall Gold. I see some right there. Very sweet. No tartness. It's very nice. Right there we got 10 pineapple guavas, all grown from seed, and they were all just in one pot clumped together, and I separated them out this spring. Growing very well. Lots of new growth on it. Be cool once they produce. See what the fruit tastes like, which is all going to be different because they're grown from seed. So that'll be a fun little experiment. I'm growing these linarias, these toad flax next year, because they're growing all throughout the fence here. And there's a purple one and a pink one, and the bees and the hoverflies and dragonflies and everything just love them. So might as well encourage that. This is one of my quinaults, and man, look at how big it is. Producing lots of strawberries, lots of propagations from it. It's nice. Sometimes these fruit come out a little funky, but really tasty. I like how the top there is kind of pulled back so you can just eat it right away. Very sweet. Looking at the other side, we have an English ivy. I'm keeping it contained to a pot so it doesn't spread and become a problem. This is an extra pot I'm just gonna let sit. Got a big aloe vera there. Some of the leaves actually started to droop, which I didn't like, so I took them off. Hopefully they'll all fill out over time again. And I got a couple propagations right there. Got some irises. These are nice. Bloom beautifully. These are yellow ones. They were supposed to also be purple, but I haven't seen any purple yet. Then right here we got, it's kind of hidden, an argan tree. Got that from my one of the managers at my work. Got a mango grown from seed. And then you got avocado and another avocado. Grown exactly the same. For some reason that your avocado didn't do as well. It looks like it probably needs some nitrogen or something. But yeah, I don't mind it. I have a red currant, which is supposed to be a white currant. But it's all the white currants on it turned red. So obviously it's not a red currant or a white currant. Got some tomatoes right there because I have way too many. I don't know what to do with them. Got a willow right there. This right here is a it's a giant sequoia. And then we got a coastal redwood right above right there. Really cool. Got a coffee tree. Got this from my coworker. Very nice. That'll be cool. Turn that into a big house tree. This right here is a stone sedum, which was in one of the pots that we'll get to in a minute. Got some more raspberries that I tried to take. I did it in the middle of summer, which is a horrible time to do it, but they did at least take, so it's nice. Right here we're just growing some onions, nothing too crazy. Then we got some green onion right here, which actually grew more green onions from the base of the root. So we don't even, from the existing plant, so we don't even have to plant seeds for this. It's just crazy, they just grow so well. Got a big rosemary, which this thing, it just grows so fast that it outgrows the pot that it's in within a year's time. But it's nice. It also sucks up water like crazy. Going over here we have an apple that I grew from a seed. This from a little Red Delicious. I'll see what I use it for. I'll use it as an example for pruning or something. And we got a little opal seedling, opal apple. That's a pear. I believe it's, yeah, D'Anjou pear. And then we got 2 Bartlett pears that I grew from seed. Just for fun. I mean, like I said, I'm really not expecting anything out of it. Some oaks. These are all white oak. And then we got 2 more that I'm not really sure what variety they are. Just acorns that we picked up. Right here I've got a couple horse chestnuts. It's pretty neat. I grew these back in the Netherlands. These things grow everywhere. So when I see one in the parking lot here, I was like, oh yeah, I gotta go grab some. So I grew some of those. I like to grow all my strawberries variety individually in the pot as well. So I've got All-Star and then Connaught right there. Pine berries, All-Star, and a pretty big tomato. Has some tomatoes on it. We started these really late. Some slugs again. Ate the seedlings, so okay do. Got potatoes that are finishing off right now. They'll probably be ready to harvest it pretty soon. This whole pot was filled, but I still got some stragglers in there, so figured I might as well let them do their thing. More strawberries that escaped. It's got a wildflower pot right here. Going over, but still nice. This is another pot that I don't really have anything for right now, but it was just sitting there, so I figured I might as well turn it into some soil, plop some tomatoes in it. I had some extra anyways. This is what black grass that one of my coworkers got me, which had that stone sedum in it, which flowers profusely, so I might as well grow that out. Alright everyone, that was part 1. I hope you enjoyed. Part 2 will be out pretty soon. Consider subscribing. I'm excited to be doing this, and I'm hoping that you guys will be excited to follow me along. So with that said, we'll see you in the next one. Tot de volgende keer.